It is June 14th, 2025. We are at the Bog River put-in for the Lowe's Lower Dam. This is the canoe access road. We got the Winona on the car today, and we'll be heading down this road until we get to Lowe's Lower Dam. During the off season, this gate is closed. It's not off limits, so if you want to hike down the access road and get to the put-in, you can. So here we got the map. I'm using the Adirondack Paddlers North map today, and we're gonna be heading out to Lowe's Lake. That's over here. Right now we are on the access road over by Horseshoe Lake. This is the gate that is marked, and we're going to be parking down at Lowe's Lower Dam. We're going to be traveling upstream past Hitchens Pond, and we're going to portage Lowe's Upper Dam and travel up Bog River until we get into Lowe's Lake. Once we get into Lowe's Lake, the goal is to either catch campsite 22, 27, or 28. And that way we got a southeasterly facing campsite. And we're going to spend the weekend and head home Monday or Tuesday, depending on how we feel. All right, so we're going to head down the road and get down to Lowe's Lower Dam. So they did just open the dam. They were working on it for a couple years, and looks like they've extended the parking lot quite a bit. Yeah, so we're parked in the parking lot here. They've definitely expanded. They made it a lot bigger. They've been working on the dam because it was leaking. There's a lot of people here. We're gonna head down to the dam and get our canoe packed up. So here we have Lowe's Lower Dam. It was leaking for close to a decade, and then the last couple of years they had shut it down and they closed access to this canoe put-in so that they could do some repairs. This is the first time I've been here since it opened. I'm pretty sure this is the first year that it's opened since they closed it, but definitely see some new concrete. Oh yeah, new gates. Very cool. All new concrete. You can see it's all been repaired. Looks like they did a lot of repairs down here too. Very cool. All new repaired concrete here. This is all new. There's the spillway. Well, the last time I was here, the water was so low, it was like we were pushing through mud. This is kind of interesting. I've never seen, a clear PVC tubing for the, to show them how high or low the dam is supposed to be. But yeah, they definitely did some repairs on this as well. So we'll be heading that way. We'll be going upstream. There's a lot of people here today. The parking lot is full. There's Jeremy. Our canoe's all packed up and ready to go. Parking lot is like a revolving door up there. There's a lot of people I didn't want to record too much around people, so I just came down here. Figured I'd explain what was going on, and we're just gonna wait for these guys to get far enough ahead of us that we can start recording the Bog River. We're going past a couple dams. I'm gonna go underneath the railroad track, and we'll also be seeing some old ruins where the hotels used to be. And it's about 70 degrees outside right now. Sun is out, nice and shiny. And we're gonna head down and start paddling. Alright, so Jeremy and I have pushed out. We are now in the canoe, and we're gonna start heading upstream. There's the Lowe's lower dam from the water side. Here's campsite 2 on the Bog River. That's a nice campsite. I've never stayed there, but we have stopped and gotten food there. I just had a quick snack. Alright, up here we're going to be heading around to our right, and the next thing we should be seeing pretty soon is the railroad bridge. This big rock is a pretty good landmark, letting you know where you're going. Sometimes you go straight over there, but that's not where you need to go. When you see this rock, you need to take a right and follow the stream up this way. Made that mistake the first time we came here. We're just about to get to Hitchens Pond. And this is, if I remember correctly, campsite 3 is up in those woods. It's actually a really nice campsite. You gotta go around the other side and enter on the other side of this peninsula here. Yeah, it's a really nice campsite, but we're going to continue on. And there is the beginning of our railroad bridge, way over there. There's campsite 3, already taken. A lot of people there. But we're heading that way, towards the railroad bridge. That's the railroad track right there, and there's the bridge. Alright, so we're approaching the railroad bridge. Underneath the railroad bridge there's some, wood beams. Actually, you can see one sticking out right there. So we just gotta take it slow underneath here and make sure that we don't hit any of the wood that's underneath the bridge. Alright, here we go. Alright, now we're getting to Hitchens Pond. There's Hitchens Pond right in front of us on the other side of these trees. We're going to continue paddling out, and our next stop is going to be Lowe's Upper Dam. Alright, we've gotten to Lowe's Upper Dam for takeout, and we're going to bring all of our gear up. This is the lazy little river. One of my very first videos I posted on YouTube was me just floating down the stream really slowly. But it feeds into Hitchens Pond. This is where the original resort used to be down here. But yeah, beautiful outside, absolutely gorgeous. There's a big beaver dam over there. It blocks off a good sized little lake over there. And this is Hitchens Pond. Horseflies are relentless right now. They're not really biting, but they are flying around, jumping on your face, or flying in your face. There's a lot of these mussels here too. This is the Adirondack wild mussel, and the river otters love to eat these things, and some people eat them too. They're kind of tough. I don't really care for them, but they're all in the water everywhere. So we're going to continue up and show you this path and the ruins. Found what looks like some old turtle eggs. They're all dried up and shriveled, but there are a lot of turtles here. So this is going to be the path that we're going to be heading up, and this is also where the ruins are. So yeah, travel up this way. I'll show you the ruins of the old hotel buildings. There's a runoff right here next to me on the left. I'll get a little bit of that recorded too. When we get up to the dam, I can show you. But yeah, so I'm going to travel up this path and show you the ruins. While Jeremy carries the boat up to the top of the dam, I'll show you the ruins. So this is where the old hotels used to be. This was the entranceway right here. And the old fire pit, the old fireplace. So I think his name was Archibald Lowe. I don't remember what his name is, but I'll put his name in the text so you can see what his name is. But he's the one that came up from, I believe, New York City, came over, built the 2 hotels, built the 2 dams, and you know, brought a whole bunch of attraction here. And then they burned down in the early 1900s, and they sold the property back to New York State and the Boy Scouts of America. Black flies are crazy today, but here's the ruins. There's a poster over here, so maybe a little information on that. Sorry to smack a black fly on my hand. Biting now. We're out in the woods. Yeah, so here's a whole bunch of information. You can pause it and read if you can. Pretty cool. Guess this is what the inside of the hotels used to look like. A whole bunch of lodging. Got a lot of fishing out here. There's the property map. There's the structure that I was just in. I just walked through those little doorway there. That's a lot of fish. That's a lot of fish. Sorry if you can't read it. It is hard to get it all up there in focus. I'm sure if you wanted to pause and slowly fast forward through it, you can read the majority of it. Obviously you can't read where they covered it up, but you can do a little online research, see what you can find. I'll probably read this stuff tonight when I'm in camp. And it's kind of cool. They got some history up here so you guys can read it, you know, in my video. Sorry, the pages are folded. Alright, we'll see what's up here. There's just the DEC putting up a map of where we are and where we're going. we're hoping to catch one of these campsites out here. There's quite a few of them, so should be able to get them. And, help protect the loons again. One of the protected species, many protected species. Here's the sign-in board. People sign in to the trail registry. Maybe Jeremy and I'll climb up to the top of the cliff and we'll go check that out. So that's the ruins over there. There's some more ruins up top of the dam. I can go up and show you that area too. There's Lowe's upper dam. So I believe they were hydroelectric, used to generate power for the hotels, for the attractions. But the put in is across the bridge over to the other side, and the trail to the top of the cliffs way up there is up on top of this hill right here. Well, maybe Jeremy and I will climb up and check that out. That means we'd have to leave all of our gear down here on the path for about 2 hours. I don't know if it's worth it or not. It's a lot of expensive gear and expensive boat, so this is the other ruins, the other building. This is the road access for DEC and the Boy Scouts of America. And here is another one of the buildings, road access for DEC. And this is where the trail is. It's the Hitchens Pond Overlook, 1.1 miles. So just over 2 miles to hike. Very cool structure. It's crazy to think that this building here has been here for 120 years. It was built in, if I believe, 1905, if I remember correctly, and it's 2025, so that's 120 years. Very cool. All right, we signed in on the sign-on board because we're going to be hiking up the trail, and there's the sign pointing the direction we need to go. We're going to head up this way. I have hiked this before. It is kind of steep, so we go around and to the back side of the cliff and then come back up. So here's the sign-in board where we sign in, and here's our path. We're heading up now. Well, this is the path. It's not really easy to see, but I'm pretty sure we're still on it. And so this goes kind of across the front of the overlook around to the back side, and then it goes up. Hey, look, there's a butterfly. Nice little yellow one. Showing us where the path is. All right, only like a mile left. All right, so we're starting to get to the top here, where the bare rocks are starting to show through the top of the woods. We probably got another 5 minutes left of hiking, and then we'll be to the overlook. Some pretty flowers. All right, so we've reached the top of the overlook, and we've paddled all that water there, and we're heading over. This is Hitchens Pond, and then the dam is down here. That's where we left our boat, and then we're going to be traveling upriver. You can still see some canoers and kayakers down there, and then we're going to be heading out this way, and we'll be going way out to the lake that's out there, Yeah, beautiful view. Absolutely gorgeous outside. We're gonna keep this hike going. That's Jeremy taking in the sun. You can kind of hear the sound of the waterfall from the dam. Alright, we're gonna hike back down and continue paddling up Lowe's Lake. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're down to the bottom of the overlook path. We're coming back to Lowe's upper dam. Here's the shine-in sheet. We're gonna document that we're done hiking to the top, and then we will be back down to our canoe. Go ahead, Jeremy. Okay, so we're about to put the boat back in to Bog River. I'll show you on the map what we've done so far. So we entered through Lowe's lower dam, and we paddled down through underneath the railroad bridge into Hitchens Pond, and then we got to this portage here, and we portaged up to the dam and left our gear here at the dam, and then we hiked up to Lowe's Ridge, which is Hitchens Pond Overlook, and then we took some video of what we could see here, and now we hiked back down, got our canoe, and we're about to put in here and head up Lowe's Lake and hopefully catch one of these campsites here. Okay, we're coming up to our first bog here. Over here on the left, there used to be a cut through that you could get through with your boat. Sometimes you can paddle through it, sometimes you can't. So we're about to find out if it's possible or if we got to get our feet wet. Okay, so we're entering the bog now. Let's hope that we miss this rock. So we got to get our way through here. This is not going to be easy. All right. So this is the Floating Bog. This is the first one in the river. There's also like a 30-acre floating bog up there. Hold on, Jeremy. And so we're gonna put on our mucking boots, and we're gonna stomp our way through here and get ourselves to the other side. All right, here we go. All right, so here we go. Got my mucking boots on. We're in the water, and now we just got to make our way through the bog. Pretty sure the boat can float through most of it without us in it, so we'll just hand push it through. It does get kind of deep, so I just gotta take it slow so I don't step so I'm deeper than my boots are. Hold on, Jeremy. Let me get through here first. All right, so right here we're gonna get back in the boat. Then we're going to paddle over to the next section that's restricted, and then we're going to do the same thing. And Jeremy's behind me, pushing through. Pretty muddy. All right, Jeremy, go ahead, get up in there. Kind of gross water. That's why I wore mucking boots instead of, you know, these rubber shoes that everybody likes to wear. Crocs, yeah. All right, here we go. Alright, so now we're just paddling over to this next little section here. Yeah, maybe we can make it through without getting out. Oh, maybe not. It looks kind of tight over there. Alright, here we go. If I gotta get out, I gotta get out. It's got some pretty flowers right here. I think those are nice. And then I got this tree, this old dead stump that's coming back to life. That is so cool. Alright, we're going to continue paddling. We're just about to enter the mouth of Lowe's Lake. So there's the boat launch for the Boy Scouts of America. Got quite a few aluminum boats over there. A pontoon boat. And we gotta head that way and go around this peninsula. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we have gotten all the way out to campsite 22. There it is. Jumping out of the boat now, and I'll walk up, check out this campsite and see how nice it is. I think it was campsite 28 that I stayed at the last time I was here, because I don't remember this going through the woods. Or actually, you know what? I do remember this. Yeah, it was this campsite we stayed at. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, this is a good campsite. So we'll come up. I'll probably set up my tent over here. That's where I set up last time. Chris set up over here. And my brother and Mike set up on these trees. Oh, we got our fire pit. A beautiful view of the lake. And this is where we'll be for a few days. Alright, here we go. We had a pile of leaves and a pile of sticks here. We got the fire going. And then we cut a piece of wood and we split it with the axe. Oh, Jerry's gonna take 2 swings. Watch him break my axe.
I will not break the axe, I swear. I almost thought it was. It's a very light axe.
Yes. So that's a Trail Boss
That's a nice
axe that I got, and what I did is I wrapped it in paracord and then put 2-part epoxy on it and coated it so to help protect the handle. Well, that's a Trail Boss. You get it on Amazon. We'll throw those in the fire. And then right over here we've got, you know, our log that we found set up in the tree. And we got my bow saw set up. And we'll just cut this log up. This log will be plenty of firewood for us for the weekend. We just cut this up and split it. Throw it on the fireplace. And once we have some coal, we'll make some dinner. And while we're waiting for the fire to burn down, we'll set up our tent, get our air mattresses going, sleeping bags, got our chairs set up so that we can sit down and relax when we're tired. And time to make home base. So right here we got our privy sign. We'll just follow this path. Let's go check out this privy and we'll see what it looks like. It's probably been 5-6 years since I've been back here. That might be a good piece of firewood too. I might be able to cut some of that up and burn it. So the privy is a bathroom. Usually it's just a hole in the ground. And this is it right here. You gotta go to the bathroom. This is where you go. You lift up the lid. And you sit on that nasty thing. Yep. That's pretty, huh? That's a pretty privy. Yeah, so hopefully we don't have to go poop. Alright, we're gonna set up our tents and get our gear unpacked, make ourselves some dinner. Okay, our fire is burned down enough that we can push the unburnt wood to the side and use the coals for our cooking. And I got our grill grate here, the great grill grate. I got my propane tank set up over here and put some wood up as like a wind block so I can boil some water for mashed potatoes. We're gonna cook some filet mignon and some baby red roasted garlic and Parmesan mashed potatoes for dinner. We got our tent set up with the sleeping bags. Jeremy's over there. And we've processed a little bit more wood. We'll process some more after dinner, but it's now 7 o'clock. So it's time to cook our food and try to settle down for the night. I'm out here by the water. So I gotta get some water for like mashed potatoes and tea and hot cocoa. So I've got this water filter here in a bladder, and what I'll do is I'll just scoop some water out in the bag, put the filter on it, and then squeeze it into my pot for boiling water. And I'll boil enough for a couple cups worth of hot cocoa and enough for our mashed potatoes. It's absolutely gorgeous out. Steaks are on, they're cooking. I just gotta boil some water now. Alright, steaks are cooking. Got a little charred there, but that's okay. They're still gonna be really good. Got the water boiling on the jet boil. And I grab some extra water so that when we're ready to heat up some for tea or hot cocoa later on tonight, we've got it. Jeremy's over there cutting down some dead wood so we can make some more firewood for our fire. And pretty soon we'll be eating. Alright, it's now 10 o'clock at night. Jeremy and I had dinner and enjoyed our steak and mashed potatoes. Now we're boiling up some more water for some hot cocoa. We got a couple bags of some Swiss Miss. I'm gonna throw that in our coffee cup, or our hot cocoa cup. And after we enjoy watching the fire and having some hot cocoa, we're gonna go to bed. And wake up tomorrow morning and see if we can catch the sunrise. Alright, good night everybody. See you in the morning. Alright, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning. I woke up this morning and saw the sunrise a little bit. We got the fire going and we've got our scrambled eggs and some bacon. So we're gonna cook up our bacon, cook up our scrambled eggs, and we're gonna have some breakfast. Today we're kind of just gonna relax, and we might go out for a little paddle a little later on this afternoon. And today is just gonna be sit back, relax, enjoy the fire, and enjoy the wilderness. Songbirds are going crazy right now, and the wildlife woke up around 3:30 this morning, starting to make noise. By 4:30 this morning, the songbirds were chirping quite a bit, and so far it's a beautiful day, nice and cool. It wasn't cold last night, and it's not supposed to get extremely hot today. All right, time to cook some food. Alright, our eggs are cooking, our bacon is done. We're just gonna sit here and enjoy some breakfast and enjoy the fire. Absolutely beautiful. I love it out here. So we're out in the middle of Lowe's Lake, and this right here is a huge floating bog. And I believe it's something like 30 acres of floating bog. So we're gonna go check this thing out. We're just out on a paddle. It's a beautiful day. Figured we'd have our dinner and then go out and explore the floating bog. Alright, I'll record a little bit more once we get closer. Alright, here we are at the floating bog. This thing is huge. I can't even tell how big it is, really. It's kind of hard to see the whole thing from the boat. We came right up to these flowers. They're pretty cool looking. I'm not sure what they are, but I think they're pretty neat. I don't know, maybe Jeremy will try walking on it in a few minutes. I might not let him get out of the boat. I don't want to get tipped over. But very cool. So while we were out paddling, I saw a decent number of fish rise, catch a couple bugs. So I figured I'd set my camera up for a few minutes and see if we can catch anything jumping out of the water. So I'll leave this set up here on the beach and see if I can catch anything on film. Alright, here we go. That bug is trying. It's on film. And then I was talking what happens. Alright, starting to get a little late and we got hungry. It's almost 8 o'clock. So we got some Bush's baked beans and a couple New York steak strips, and we're just gonna cook those on the fire. Cook these on the propane cooker and enjoy dinner and sit back and relax before the sun goes down completely and it's dark out, and then we'll go to bed. It's now Monday morning. Jeremy and I are just gonna pack up, start heading out. So far it's a beautiful morning, and wind's very calm. Temperature's nice and cool out, but it's not cold. Slept pretty good last night. So we're gonna go pack up our gear and make the paddle back down to Lowe's Lower Dam. Should make for a nice paddle. Probably take us about 3 hours. Absolutely gorgeous out here. Alright, our boat is all packed up. About to put it in the water and head out. The lake is flat like glass, and it is going to be a wonderful paddle back to the car. All right, here we go. All right, we're back to Lowe's Upper Dam. We're just carrying all of our gear back down to the end of the Portage, and then we're going to continue paddling down Bog River until we get to the car. Got some really nice flowers over here up by Lowe's Upper Dam. They're kind of pretty. You got some purple ones, got some pink ones, some kind of red ones. Really neat looking. There's a lot of them. And then we got some other wildflowers over here. Kind of cool looking. There's flowers all over. There's the old hut or cabin or hotel or whatever they called it. Forest Ranger Dispatch. I don't think I got that on the camera earlier, but there it is. Alright, so Lowe's Upper Dam, we're just doing the Portage, and then we'll be to the car in about, if I were to guess, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Alright, here we go. Nice little picnic area, you know, sitting right at the bottom of the Portage. We got our canoe and all the gear down, and we are now getting on to Hitchens Pond. So Hitchens Pond, we'll be going downstream and back onto Bog River, and should take us about, I don't know, maybe half hour, 45 minutes or so, maybe a little longer. But so we're going to be paddling that direction and following Bog River all the way to Lowe's Lower Dam. Okay, we just got to Lowe's Lower Dam. We just taken out. Took us about 45 minutes or so, I think. I'm gonna go up, grab the car, pull it down. That way we can load the vehicle up, and then we can head out. One of my favorite spots. Beautiful area. Long paddle, but great campsites. All right, this is where our trip is going to conclude, right where we started off. Wanted to say thanks for watching Lights on the Water. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And this was a trip to Lowe's Lake, and we started off at Lowe's Lower Dam canoe access. All right, thanks for watching.